Hello, BookTube. I have been officially chided into remembering my duty towards all of my imaginary BookTube friends, and so I'm going to try to do that in this video. We have recently on this channel done read alouds. Not a read along, not a buddy read, where we're not reading the same book at the same pace and talking about it once in a while, where instead I'm reading you the book, word for word, and frequently interpolating my own editorial commentary along the way. Which, when I describe it that way, which is what it actually is, when I describe it that way, I think anybody would wonder, why on earth would that have an appeal to anybody? And yet, a great number of you, over the last few books that we have read aloud together, a great number of you have not only said, we want the editorial interruptions, we know this is not an audiobook, you are reading it to us yourself, we want you to be part of the process. Not only have a great number of you said that, but a surprising number of you have said that when we do one of these read alouds, you don't skip ahead. You're letting me read you the book, often for the first time ever. That's incredible. The last few times we've done these, it has been an incredible, incredible experience. And I want to do it again. I want to resume until the end of the year. And the problem here is that I have recently started accumulating deadline work. I mentioned it to you in a video, I think a month ago. I said that I came online on a Monday morning and was suddenly gainfully employed. And that has increased. So we are not going to jump right in. It's September 4th. This is an announcement for October. So we're going to read a book aloud in October. I want to give you time to find a copy or to email me for an ebook, although the book is available on Project Gutenberg, so you can just download it for free. And the book is this. It's Can You Forgive Her by Anthony Trollope. A great big thing. This is so much fun that I firmly believe that we will have a blast reading this together. This was written in 1865. Trollope was at the peak of his career. He got more money for this book than he did for anything that he'd ever written before or would ever write since. And it is at heart the story of two women unhappy in love. Two very different women in two very different circumstances, but two women unhappy in love. It's the first of the Palliser novels, the so-called Palliser or parliamentary novels. But you don't need to worry about that, and you don't need to worry about any kind of books in sequence. And you also don't have to worry about the plot, because those of you who are familiar with Trollope, if you're not familiar with this book, and I tell you that its principal two main characters are women, you're going to be over the moon about that. Because Trollope is so good at writing great female characters. He is so good at that. In my opinion, the best Victorian writer at that, bar none. Male or female. And I don't know if you would agree with that characterization, but it's definitely true in this book. Definitely. You are in for a fantastic time in this book. And no small thing, in addition, probably a nudge to picking this book, it also features my favorite character in all of Trollope. And it features her heavily. So this is what we're going to be reading. Can You Forgive Her? Starting in October. So let me know if you want if you want me to find you a copy. Although, like I said, if I can find you a print copy of this, probably I can in a month. I don't know how many I can find. I just have the one bookstore, but probably I can. Also, copies of this in every kind of livery and publication will be available everywhere on the secondhand market, in Amazon or Facebook Marketplace or eBay. And if you follow basic guidelines for those places, in other words, the seller must have a picture of their specific copy of what they're selling. Don't buy something that doesn't have that. Not a book, not a piece of electronics, nothing. The seller must show you a picture of the actual item you'll be buying, not something similar. The actual item you'll be buying. If they show you a picture and there is a background and you're not 100% sure, send them a message and say, is that the actual thing I'll be buying? And get them to say that it is in print, in an email. And if they don't do that, if they're not willing to show you pictures of what they're selling, then don't buy it. Obviously, you wouldn't buy anything else sight unseen, so don't do that. if you follow a basic guideline like that, you should be okay for secondhand markets. And also, if you do e-reading, Can You Forgive Her is free on Project Gutenberg. So this is what we'll be reading in October. You have time to get your ducks in a row, and we will be reading Trollope at the height of his powers, which is always fun. I mean, Trollope's fun anyway. I've never noticed much of a difference between the height of his powers and the lack thereof. But this is peak form. So there you go. That's an announcement video. We will reconvene for the first chapter of Can You Forgive Her on October 1st. And I will see you all then. Thank you, BookTube.